What's going on, guys? So today I wanted to make a video about something that I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while. Obviously, we don't have any confirmed Pokemon information in regards to Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch, but we do have some confirmed interviews and some thoughts from the Pokemon Company themselves and Game Freak about what the game could possibly entail. Now, this interview was with Bloomberg, with the Pokemon CEO, in September of 2017. So the reason why I'm deciding to cover this is because we obviously had a lot of rumor BS. We've obviously had just so much bullshit going on around the last month or so. I know it's been going on longer, but the last month or so it's been really, really bad. So I wanted to go over this because this is actual information coming from the man himself, Ishihara, right? This isn't bullshit. This is something we can actually analyze, something we can actually go over. A few of you have asked me or gave me the idea to make a video about the top 10 or top 5 things I want in the new Pokemon Switch game, but I've decided not to do that because everyone and their mother has done that on YouTube, and I want us to be different. I want us to be a unique channel that can kind of have the entire discussion in one video rather than me put out this, you know, uh, video with a giant thumbnail with some random fake mon made by some fan. No, top 5 things wanted. That's like what everybody's done. And I don't give a shit about views, so I just want good content that you guys will actually enjoy in terms of conversation. So, anyways, let's hop into it. So, again, this is the interview with Bloomberg. I pulled it up on IGN's website. And it's such an interesting thing, too, because the Pokemon CEO did not think, I'm sure most of you already know this by now, did not think that the Switch would be successful. And a large portion of that is because of the mobile market, the gaming market on our phones. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't play like, you know, quick little games on my phone. I download like the hardcore games. Like, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Dissidia, or excuse me, Final Fantasy, what's it? Opera Omnia. That game is awesome. I played the Digimon Links game, Pokemon Go, obviously, Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh, and I downloaded Final Fantasy 4 for the DS. So I play some pretty heavy games on my phone. And the reason why the CEO of Pokemon Company thought this is because from 2017 to 2018 so far, the mobile market has jumped from a $40 billion market to a $60 billion market. Now, this is an article that Marcus Sellers put out that I retweeted, I think, last month. And that is exactly why the Pokemon CEO did not think that the Switch would be successful, but he goes on to kind of explain that here. So, it says right here, I told Nintendo that Switch wouldn't be a success before it went on sale. It's obvious I was wrong. The Pokemon Company's CEO, Ishihara, said he originally told Nintendo that the Switch wouldn't be a success. Now imagine your biggest profit, the head of that profit telling you this will not be successful. So it took Nintendo a lot of balls from a marketing perspective and a business perspective to make this move. Because let's face it, Pokemon is easily like 30 to 35% of Nintendo's earnings with accessories, with games, with all this stuff. I mean, it's huge. And so props to Nintendo for sticking to their guns because your biggest piece of the cake there did not think it would be successful. So it's a tough world in the business world, guys. Speaking to Bloomberg, Ishihara explained, I told Nintendo that Switch wouldn't be a success before it went on sale because I thought that in the age of the smartphone, no one would carry around a game console. It's obvious I was wrong. Now, what he's kind of referring to is, I mean, I'm sure he saw the prototype, obviously, the development kit and things like that. The Switch really isn't that big of a console. When you look at the PS Vita or something similar to that, it's not overwhelmingly big. You know what I mean? Like, I put my Switch in my pocket. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Sometimes, depending on your pockets, you got to take the Joy-Cons off, and then you can actually put the screen part. Like in my military uniform, I can put the actual whole entire Switch in my side pocket. But no one got pockets like that. Just walking around normal day. So it can be interesting, but it was a good way for Nintendo to sell accessory kits and things like that to carry it around in. Um, so again, the size, and I think he realized, well, it kind of says it, that the size and the fact that it's a console mobile If the software is good enough, people will buy it. They will carry it with them. And yeah, here we are, 17 million Switches sold later. However, he seems to put that success down to good times rather than hardware. I came to realize the key to a successful game is quite simple. Software with absolute quality leads sales of hardware. Playing style can be flexible if the software is attractive enough. Legend of Zelda, Mario, um, sorry guys, my dog's snoring. Lucy, stop. Um, and all the other games that have come out, Skyrim, Dragon Ball, Xenoverse 2, uh, NBA 2K, so many games for the Switch, and it's covered such a wide variety. What Nintendo's been really bad at throughout their success is, and over the years, is putting out games that the entire market would enjoy. Like, I was not going to play Madden on the Wii, or I wasn't going to do it. I had a PS4. Why would I play it on the Wii? I was not going to play Call of Duty on the Wii. Like, why? And the Switch has been able to capture um, those type of gaming markets. NBA 2K, FIFA was a huge seller for the Switch. Um, I think NBA Live is coming to the Switch too. So again, there's just a wide variety of market that the Switch has been able to capture and draw in those gamers. And it's a big difference when you can play it on the go. So this is the interview. I'm obviously not going to click it. I don't want to get copyright struck or anything, or whatever happens with that. I'm not sure what happens with that, but I'm sure you guys have already seen the interview. Ishihara announced a core Pokemon RPG for Switch at E3 this year, which will undoubtedly be one of the system's biggest games upon release. Perhaps hinting to his own game, he continued, "Currently Switch is popular among the early adopters and there needs to be one or more steps to attract a wider audience. I see more potential in Switch, but one shouldn't overestimate its potential." Now, again, this is September of last year, so the Switch had been out, what, 6 months? 5 or 6 months? And just the sales that it had gotten at that point in time. Again, this game's been in development, guys, for a few years prior to this announcement. That's just how it works. But when they got the dev kits and realized the in-depth detail they could go, I think it kind of forced their hand on the announcement and um, gave them the idea, whoa, people really like this Breath of the Wild. They really like Mario. Maybe we shouldn't just port over a 3DS game type game onto this system. Maybe we really need to consider that putting the time in to make this game on this system the way we think we can will really, really benefit us, because look at how well it's selling with the games that have done the exact same thing. Now, I'm not saying, of course, that Pokemon's going to be Breath of the Wild, but you understand the inventiveness, the creativeness, and the motivation and ambition they can put behind a Pokemon game, I think is what he's referring to. So I want to pull up this Bloomberg interview um, because this is kind of, it touches all the bullet points that I wanted to refer to you guys, because a lot of speculation, and this kind of falls into my top 5 things for Pokemon Switch. A lot of people have been speculating about what the Switch could actually be with Pokemon, and what features and things like that could be added, and what better way to do that than from the man himself, who's actually talked about what this game could be like, obviously in a very broad scope, but it's still really important to touch on, you know, what we can expect from the game. Okay, here we go. In June, Ishihara revealed that a role-playing Pokemon game was under development for the Switch. A 16-second clip of the announcement caused Nintendo's stock price to jump as much as 3% in U.S. trading. As investors bet the new title will boost Switch sales, Ishihara shared a few more details about the game, which is set to be released in 2018 or later. So this part right here is exactly how big Nintendo is, or Pokemon is with Nintendo. And that's why it took Nintendo a lot of balls to say, oh, the Pokemon CEO doesn't think it's going to work. Fuck it, let's go with it anyway. Took a lot of balls. Um, and this kind of goes back toward the investors meeting coming up next week, and why that is so important. This is how serious Pokemon affects the market. And I've said in my past videos, the market does not lie, guys. If the market is there, it's going to come, okay? Via merchandise, leads, and things like that. The market does not lie. And in this case, Pokemon knows exactly what it's capable of doing in terms of sales on this system, and they're going to knock this shit out of the park. And we're all going to love the game. It's just a matter of how much are we going to love the game. So that's how big Pokemon is for Nintendo. So we scroll down, there's Ishihara with a giant-ass Pikachu. I want to be this. Look how comfortable this Pikachu is. I wish I could be that comfortable when I'm sleeping. Looking like a Tangela when I sleep. All right. So here are some bullet points from the interview. I don't know if Bloomberg actually ever posted their questions, which is what I was trying to find. But here are the answers to some of the questions. We can kind of infer anyway based on what those are. With the Switch, we see it as a chance to create Pokemon that goes deeper and with a higher level of expression. As a result, that makes it an extremely important platform. So you can draw many things from this, guys, but it shows that the Pokemon CEO is very, very interested in making sure this game goes deeper in a variety of ways that the Pokemon series has not been able to go deep before because of the 3DS constraints. Nintendo's and Game Freak have also, or excuse me, Pokemon Company and Game Freak have talked about numerous times in the past. They like to put their software power and their graphical power into cutscenes and into the story. And I think that's what he's referring to when it goes create a Pokemon that goes deeper and with a higher level of expression. I think that's what he's referring to. But again, it can mean anything. And this should spark a lot of people's interest because a lot of people think that the game's just going to be like a 3DS type port with enhanced character models, and that's what we're going to get. Again, guys, the Pokemon CEO and Game Freak are both interested in this aspect here. So if they can do it in a powerful and connecting way to us, Game Freak has said this too, that anything's a possibility. A Breath of the Wild type game is a possibility if that world works with Pokemon. Those are the exact words from Junichi Masuda's mouth. And then we have this from the CEO. So again, guys, don't just think we're gonna get um, a 3DS type port graphical game. Okay, I they would be a bit contradicting, I think, if they did that, and unwise. That would be my take on that. So again, as a result, that makes it an extremely important platform. So they're basically saying, I interpret it this way: they know how the importance of making sure this game looks right, plays right, and all those things, and they're going to get this right, guys. And they want to sell as many copies as possible. This system, this game will sell more than Ultra Sun, or excuse me, more than Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon sold 15 million copies. There are 17 million Switches out there. I guarantee, right now, I guarantee if Pokemon were to drop tomorrow, all 15 million of those people would have a Switch. There's 17 million. I think 15 million people easily would buy this game. Easily, 100%. Right now, we're using 7 to 8 inch screens, but on a high definition TV, you can express a whole new, excuse me guys, I can't read today, express a whole different world with graphics and sound. Again, guys, so referring to high definition, what it means for the Switch and Pokemon, and how they're interested in implementing something that matches these descriptions, something they weren't able to really do before. I think the screen upscaled to 240 or 480 on the 3DS, so 360 maybe even, actually, I'm not sure. But again, guys, so Pokemon themselves have said they're very interested in enhancing the game, the sound, the story, the visuals. They're very, very interested in doing that. So I can't emphasize that enough. Don't expect this massive disappointment in terms of visuals and sound and things like that, the music and stuff. They're interested. And if they can find a way to do it and really, really, really enhance things, they're going to do it. And it says so in this context. Until now, games were made as for one person. As in, I take my 3DS home and I'm playing on my screen. Okay, so that's how I play. I play this way. Someone else is next to me, they have a 3DS and they play. But now you can go home and play with everyone on one screen. Is basically what they're referring to. So how do we tackle these themes and how do we make sure it's not complicated? So again, kind of go into a local multiplayer thing. Basically, how would a family be able to play Pokemon on the Switch? Would it be mini games? Would it be maybe like a Safari Zone type thing where someone has a Switch, they can local multiplayer, and you guys can go into a Safari Zone together and catch different Pokemon. Things like that, I think, is kind of what they're pointing at. I can't say that we'll release accessories, but I'd like to think of that possibility. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone there, dude. If we don't get Pokeball Joy-Cons with the Switch, I would be shocked. Like, accessories is what sells consoles. That's part of the gist, and that's part of what's going to move consoles. There will be a Pokemon themed Switch coming out. No doubt about that when this game comes out. Unlike smartphones, the Switch is not a game device that assumes that there's constant network connectivity, so from our perspective, it's really not that different from DS or 3DS in terms of connectivity. So again, that's not something they're really going to have to edit in terms of the system. There's not anything that this is going to have to, oh my god, we got to change the way this connects, we got to change our servers, we got to do all this stuff. Not really, guys. It's basically the same thing. It's Wi-Fi. Um, And again, that's kind of now the interesting thing too. So the September service for online kicks off obviously in September. I think the 21st. So that's going to be very key. And I think to kick that off, I think that's another reason why we'll get Pokemon this year. Smash Bros is probably going to be the game to really jumpstart it, but I think with that being a solid yes this year, I wouldn't think Pokemon would come out without that online subscription because they're going to want to Game Freak and Pokemon Company are going to want to make sure whatever they're tying into the local multiplayer aspect of this in this interview with what I just read and whatever it is they want to accomplish with the multiplayer aspect, they're not going to want to do that without their subscription service, Lucy. So that's important. And with the online coming this year, I think that's just another thing that kind of helps the 2018 theory. And then from here, guys, it kind of goes and talks about augmented reality and that games should be more realistic. We should be able to play in a more realistic way. And that's kind of what he says here. Playing in a more realistic way should be possible. And Switch is just one of those possible platforms. Probably talking about some VR and things like that. That's pretty much what Pokemon Go touches on. So, guys, again, I wanted to cover these bullet points because what I just expressed based on these sentences is exactly what I expect for Pokemon Switch. There isn't any type of certain mechanic or certain method or certain feature of the game that I want. I just want the game to encompass everything that Game Freak and the Pokemon Company see as a vision for what the Switch is capable of doing. Now, they're going to get better as they go. The first game for the Switch will not be their best game. If it is, I would be highly impressed. Because let's face it, Red and Blue were not the best games of the series. I am a Gen 1er 100%. That is a bullshit claim, okay? Pokemon Red and Blue are amazing games. But to say they're the best, I think, is not looking through an objective lens. But again, high definition, guys, express a whole different world with graphics and sound. We see it as a chance to create Pokemon that goes deeper and with a higher level of expression. So again, guys, it's there. They're aware. This is what they want to do. This is how they're going to try and accomplish it. I do expect to see a different looking Pokemon game. I do expect to see a different game running mechanically on the Nintendo Switch. The what that is and how impactful that is, we may not know, and we don't know now, but whatever it is, they're going to knock it out of the park. Trust me. And this game is going to look and play much differently, or maybe just a little differently than Pokemon games. The core foundation will be there, but they're definitely going to enhance upon it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's pretty much my thought process on the Nintendo Switch game. Again, there isn't anything specific I want in these games. I just want their vision to be captured, and I want their hard work to really pay off and really bring us an experience of these games that give us the feeling of, holy shit, we're playing Pokemon, we're playing in a Pokemon world, and we're traveling, we're exploring, and this is really, really cool. And that's really what I want from this game. So that kind of answers, I hope that kind of helps you guys with what I'm expecting and what I want from this game on the Switch. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. I try to keep it short. I tried to keep it, I'm trying to shorten my videos some. I don't want it to go too long, but if there's anything else you guys would like me to cover, if there's anything you see on the internet that is something along the lines of this that you've seen Game Freak or the Pokemon Company say, or an article or something like that, go ahead, shoot it to me. I'll break it down. This is really the stuff I like doing. I don't really like breaking down rumors. I like breaking down the stuff that we actually know coming from people's mouths, and this is that thing. So again, thank you guys very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Twitter, Nido17. Nidosquad, we are out. Peace, guys. Have a good day.